Oh, um, in general, it's all okay. Everything's okay. It's just there are days when people are having a hard time, and it seems like I think a lot of people are having a really hard time right now for a lot of reasons. So,
I agree. And one of the things we haven't done, not only as a country, but as individuals, sometimes during, we're going through such a crazy time, so we're not allowing ourselves to feel grief,
mm,
and you've had almost 60,000 people die. That's intense.
yeah, I think that hangs in the air. It hangs in the collective consciousness when there's that much grief going around. That's just ours. That's not the rest of the planet, too.
It, that's just the U.S. Well, speaking of personal stories, I just had a really sad thing happen this morning. So my eyes are puffy because I've been crying a lot today.
Mm.
My grandmother's cousin, who was like her sister, and the last link in our family in Croatia to like the entire World War II generation is now gone. She passed away.
Wow.
And we don't
Oh,
know how, you know, some of us were like, was it coronavirus? I don't know. They're really close to Italy. She lived on an island, so I don't know, but she was
how old was she?
she was in her 90s.
Mm.
But it made me think about. So anyway, I'm making Croatian comfort food. That's the bottom line.
Right. That's
That's the
right.
bottom line. And just talking about, you and I were just talking about before we started, the healthy factor of, right now, if you just need to cry, just cry. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Feel
Yeah. You
feel it.
pen, yes, if you pen that up, I just know from experience it comes out in the weirdest places. And and sometimes it does that anyway, but you're better off not bottling it. That's for sure.
And there are people that are, have lost pet companions and,
Mhm.
loved ones and all kinds of things right now. So we just have to, I think, feel it. And luckily, we have a time at home to really reflect and process,
Mhm.
And some of us process differently, like making food in the kitchen.
Yes. And luckily, we can do this when the camera's really far away from you, and we don't have to see with your eyes or
I
so.
know. Well, in that movie, like Water for Chocolate, when she cries into the batter for the cake, you know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then serve the cake and everyone cries at the dinner who eats it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I I was crying when I made this earlier because I had to test it because if I didn't get it right, I would have hellfire to face when I die. So anyway, but I
Yeah, well, one of my stories is about crying in the bowl of spinach.
I remember that from your show, right? Is
Mhm.
that what you're talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So I made it. I tested it. It's awesome, and I feel confident.
oh yay. So
But
tell us what it is.
the reason why I made it ahead of time is because you have to let the batter sit for an hour. So I
Ah,
want to be able to show you cooking it and making it. So I'm going to do both. But anyway, I know we were started on a somber note, but really this dish for me and my cousins is just like the ultimate joy.
mm,
This woman who passed away, his name was Francesca, and she would make these things for us out of love. It was like
mhm.
a gift of love.
Yeah.
And oh God, no one's watching anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But so
Mm.
I make them,
Yeah, you're gonna make them, and she's on your shoulder.
and they're all there too. Like that whole contingent of people that
Mhm.
are now gone, and you have just generations that leave, and it's, I don't know, that's really hard to accept too, you
Yeah,
know.
it is. It is for sure. Yeah. Yes, and this is the part of Corona that's hard is that when our friends are grieving, we can't really be with them. I mean, you kind of have to do it through a door or
All I want to do
something.
is hug my mom right now,
I know.
and my sisters and my cousins.
Yeah. And that is the biggest friggin' cup of coffee I've ever seen.
This is my special unicorn cup.
Oh my God.
This is my cup. When I found this, I was like, yeah, that's the amount of coffee I need in the morning. You know, just to be a hardcore worker, waking up early, working on set, and you have to get there so early, and you need coffee, and they usually don't have the best coffee
Yeah.
on film set. So,
No, they don't. I'm known to come with my own thermos in the morning.
right? See?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make it. Here we go.
Okay.
Got this. So
You got this.
this is from my grandma's cookbook, and it's funny because she writes a Dalmatinka favorite, and I didn't know there was alcohol in it, Debriana.
When was the last time you made it?
The whole time I was thinking like, oh, they're like crepes. It's really like a Croatian version of a crepe, but there's some alcohol in there, and it makes it so good. It's
No
really
wonder you guys liked it as kids. She was drugging you all.
We'd wake up in the morning and there would be a pile. Francesca would have gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make 56 Palačinke on, with chocolate or butter or jam. A lot of times people eat it with Nutella or, stuff like that. Or I like it. I really like it with jam and fresh berries. And okay, here we go.
Okay.
So it's super easy. I'm doing a half recipe because I already made a recipe, a batch. So I don't want to. I'll have like 400 of these if I make another one, and I'll eat them all. None of my clothes fit me. Just PS. Okay. This is half a recipe. So normally you do 2 eggs. This is 1.
Okay.
And you just whisk it lightly.
Okay.
And then you're going to add, and this is what I really like about this one, half an orange, grated orange zest.
Oh, nice.
My grandma used to live amongst orange orchards in California.
Oh, wow.
We had fresh squeezed orange juice every day at her house. And so I'm like, why does this have orange in it? And I'm like, oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, duh.
So I'm gonna put this, and it really, oh my God, there's nothing better than like brandy and oranges, eh?
No, not much.
So here's what's really funny is that this calls for brandy, and of course I don't have any. So I put the sherry from the other day. And it worked.
Well, I think it's just alcohol. It's just a somewhat different flavor.
It's really tasty, and I guess
I love sherry, so that's fine by me.
Okay, so I got a whole orange in there, and that just smells so good. I love oranges. Oranges make me happy.
Well, this time of year, I love the sumos are out, and that's my favorite orange.
So it says 1 jigger of brandy, a jigger.
That's an old-fashioned term. That's like a shot.
I don't know. That's what she had in there. So I'm just putting like a capful. I think that's what a jigger is. Somebody else.
It depends on the cap. I think it's more like a shot.
It's like a shot. It's a big cap.
Yeah.
And then a half a teaspoon vanilla. I'm just gonna do the cap method. I know you hate that, but
no, what I'd be interested in is the cap and then measure it and see if it's right.
We'll do that. We'll do actual measurements one day on the show. Okay. Salt, and then you add this is half, so a cup of milk, and I did milk. I don't know if it should be half and half, but I'm not deterring from the recipe because I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
But so it's a cup of milk, a cup of flour, and I'm totally.
And that you're basically making the batter now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so there's no leavening in it.
No, none.
Okay.
It's a crepe. It's totally.
Well, the egg kind of is, but yeah.
Totally flat, and you just whisk it until you don't want to see any flour remnants. It's just a really smooth batter. And then, remarkably, let's see, I didn't forget anything, did I? Okay. You let it sit for an hour. I don't know what that does, but.
Well, it probably does something to the gluten.
Probably. We should ask Ollie.
You should ask Ollie. Ollie will know.
He's the gluten king. He's the gluten king. Okay. So then, just like the Galloping Gourmet, if I walk over here, I have this prepared.
Awesome.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Can you believe this? So I'm turning it on to medium-high heat, and the heat is a really huge factor in this. It has to be pretty darn hot, and you want to take some butter and definitely, melt a little so that it's coated. This is a non-stick pan. I was afraid I didn't have a non-stick enough pan, but it worked. Okay. So you just coat the pan and you let it heat up. Here is this has been sitting.
The resting batter. So you just rest it on the counter, not in the fridge?
Yeah, on the counter. And this has been resting now for about, I would say, when did I do it? Now this is probably an hour, so it'll probably be perfect now.
Okay.
But it did turn out well. And then I had some crepe flippers. I don't know, these really, really thin, spatula type.
Yes.
Yeah. And they really help lift it up and turn it. So it's a process. I mean, you're going to be here for a while. You're going to be making these things. They don't, you just, like a factory, you churn them out.
You just, flip them and pour them and flip them and pour them and flip them and pour them until the batter's gone.
Exactly. But you don't want to, the key thing is just making the right batter. And I was on this Croatian cooking group, and I asked this lady today, there's so many kooky wives' tale recipes with this thing. It's like some people don't do milk, they do sparkling water.
Oh, yep, I've heard that.
Like that's what'll make it fluffy or whatever.
Yeah, that is also something that people do when they're making tempura batter.
Is that right? I didn't know that. I looked up Lydia Bastianich's recipe because I wanted to see if it was different, because she's half Croatian, and she does it. She uses rum.
Oh, nice.
Hers, and she makes chocolate ones for her grandkids, and she doesn't use the what, but she uses water, just plain water, not milk.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. So okay, here we go.
I would prefer milk myself, but
yeah, me too. So that's what I'm doing. You know what? I think it's making it more thin to have it sit. It thins it out or something. I don't know. So it's a pretty thin batter, and then you just make it go around. See how
do the swirl action.
I'm pretending this is a crepe pan, but it's not.
Yeah.
But see, like crepes, you made the good batter when it has that tertiary sticky area that's already cooking in a thin way, and it's great. You can spread it out, and it should do that. If it doesn't do that, you've done it wrong. So happily,
so yeah, the goddesses are watching.
In my family,
so is there a way to know when you're going to flip it? What is your eye watching for?
I'm watching for it to turn brown, just a golden brown, and have it all be cooked through. I don't want it to be too crispy on the other side, so that's a whole other, you're just gonna know what you like. And I don't like to flip stuff like tortillas and things like that over and over and over again. You
Right.
really only do it twice, like
Mhm.
pouring it in, there's one side, flipping it is the other side, and then you get the perfect,
Yeah.
just one time, cooked.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
these are pretty, they're a sturdy little thing. They're not tough, but they'll hold, I imagine you could do a savory. I have only done sweet in my lifetime. I've never done savory, but I'm sure you could.
Yeah, definitely. My sister used to make a lot of savory crepes, and that's basically what that is. It's a crepe batter.
You never make them?
I'm not a crepey girl.
Not a crepey girl.
I don't know, but I think every culture has something like that. Like Russians have bellinis, or
Right.
they're very similar to this.
That brown that flipped and it's a perfect golden brown. See?
Perfect. Yay.
I did
So
not.
do you rebutter between them or no?
I just put it in the section of the pan that still had butter on it because this is
No, I mean like when you pour the next one, are you going to butter it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want that butter flavor, and it makes it crispy. But I am so happy I've not dishonored my family name.
I am too.
But it made me, as part of my grieving, I just feel like I had to make these. I wanted to make a cake today, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna make these, even though I didn't know if they would turn out or not. But these are great. I'm gonna photograph them and eat them. I'm very excited.
You can stack them like a cake if you put, whipped cream in between them all.
Well, we could do that. Okay, and there it is. There it is, folks.
Yay! The chicken's gonna dance. Woo!
What you do is like a crepe, but I'm just gonna do this on the side, even though this is burning hot. I always do this. See how I just folded it?
Yeah. Gorgeous. There it is.
And there, oh my God. So
That's
you
so
roll
pretty.
it. You roll it, see?
Mm-hmm.
And then you put things in it.
Did you put something in it now, or are you going to wait till it cools off?
Here's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Because it's delicious. Because that I would eat with just butter.
You know what?
Butter and cinnamon and sugar is fine by me.
Plain. Even plain. So good. So I'm going to make a ton of these. And
Okay.
we'll just eat them and think of friends.
Is anyone home with you now? Is someone coming to help you eat them?
Later, will have a pack of Wolverines that will come eat them.
Oh, good. Okay. I was kind of getting worried about leaving you alone with the 2 piles of grapes.
I have a jar of Nutella and a whole bunch of Palačinke. Yikes.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't do that. Well, my heart is with you, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My heart's with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yum.
Oh my God. This makes me think of Croatia.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I really miss it. I wish we could go this summer.
It's definitely been on a bucket list of mine. I know so many people from there, and I've always wanted to see it. So now I get to go with you someday.
It's a really special place.
Yeah.
The people are really kooky in a good way.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me like everybody that I've always known, they have the same connections to food and family that Italian people do. So it was always a very instant connection with anyone that I've ever known from Croatia.
It's really true. I'm so grateful for my family today. I just feel such a bond with them, and they're all really awesome people. And
now it's so and you can bond with, back through the lineage with the food you're able to make, and you feel it all. Yeah.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Well, enjoy every one of them. You should not eat every one of them, but just enjoy making every one of them.
I've already had 3.
So when you put them on the plate and stack them, do you just roll them and line them up in a roll and then go back and fill them?
No, fill them first, then stack them, and then I would keep them warm, maybe in an oven, just a warming oven or something.
Okay.
And then you can drizzle, like a raspberry coulis. You can do, anything you want.
Yeah.
You can fill them with a lot of times fruit, but I really like them with jam.
Yeah, I remember us eating it like that with either Nutella or jam.
Like homemade, like apricot jam. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
There's like a clean plate, and you're like, what just happened? Okay. Thanks for bearing with me.
Oh, thanks for sharing all that. And give my love to your family and your mama.
Thank you. All right.
Well, all right.
Well, tomorrow we're having cocktails.
Oh, yes. Tomorrow's Cocktails with Eric. So, yeah, don't miss that, you guys.
It'll be really fun, and he has some great stories of his travels. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, honey.
Okay, take care.
Everybody be safe.